All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Athlete and Artist Show. I am the artist, Kyle Forge, alongside the athlete professional hockey player, Zach Boychuk. Our guest today, making his third appearance, also a professional hockey player, also a boxer, also the co-host of the Talkin' Trash podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the toughest man in hockey today, Daniel Diamond Hands Amesbury. Welcome back, man. How you been?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me on here, fellas.
Back again, third time. It seems like every time we have to have you on at least once every season. You got so much different stuff going on.
Yeah, bouncing around. That's why I'm getting my time zones mixed up, making you guys wait.
It's all good, man. Hey, we're here now. It's all that matters.
Yeah.
So, Ames, I mean, obviously a lot has happened since the last time we've chatted. We've been following along with what you've been doing on social media and on TV. You're in the coast playing now. You've had some more boxing matches. You've got another one coming up. So let's start off. You just moved out to Colorado. How's that been? How's that been for the fam? How's that been for training? What brought you out there?
It's been awesome. Yeah, I'm just training for the summer and just, obviously Scott Parker is pretty close, like a pretty close friend of mine, and his family's here and he's here. And he kind of was, we were kind of just talking, and it just kind of, it seemed like the place to be for me this summer. Just like the guys that I can skate with. One of my old coaches, Derek Armstrong, played for the LA Kings. He's here and his kids, and they want to, I'll be skating with them lots and whatnot. And I was skating with Cal Foot and stuff. So just, the caliber of players that I'm going to be on the ice with this summer. And then boxing wise too, like the gym that I'm training at, like a lot of UFC guys, a lot of BKFC guys. So it just seemed like the right place for me to be for the summer as far as training and to kind of step my game up and reach my goals.
And you got a little bit of the altitude too, so that helps with training the lungs and everything.
Yeah, that's just like a huge added bonus too, right? And like, I feel good now, but man, did it take me a week or two to figure that out, because when you first get here, it's a little bit of a struggle just walking up a set of stairs.
Who's out there at your gym for UFC guys?
So I train with like Chris Camozzi.
Okay.
I think he's with BKFC now. But Thug Rose trains at my gym. I ran into her the other day, which was like crazy because I was just like sitting there putting my boxing shoes on, and I just, she goes, "Oh, excuse me, can I get something?" I wasn't really paying attention. I looked up and seen her. I was like kind of caught off guard. Like I knew like the gym I'm at, Genesis is a pretty high end gym, and there's lots of high end fighters and stuff coming in out of there. Like I'm pretty sure Gaethje's trained there. There's a ton of guys that have been in and out of that gym. Actually, the cage that we have in the gym is the original cage from UFC 1.
Oh shit!
That's sick. Just moving around in that cage is badass.
That's unreal. That must be where everyone goes, like to get that high altitude training, like that one specific gym. Hey,
I think like it's definitely like if people have fights in Denver, like they have to come early too, right? So. I think it was like my first or second time in the gym, I got to get into some sparring with some like bare knuckle guys, and I had some good rounds, like right off the bat. I'm like, all right, I'm in a good gym, like getting pushed around a little bit in there. So it's a good place for me to be boxing wise. And then obviously, the altitude and it's just the country too, man. Like there's hikes everywhere. I'll get on my mountain bike. I'll go ride up the mountain, and it's a good place to be for training.
That's unreal. Do you so is your plan to go more the BKFC route, or are you sticking to traditional boxing?
So I'm time being is boxing, right? Like I don't think I'm ready yet. Like I'm not really at the level I'd like to be for BK just yet. But I do definitely want to do at least one BK event, whatever promotion it's with. I definitely want to do one bare knuckle at some point. When that is, I don't know, but right now it's just kind of, box, get some experience and kind of just build my platform in the meantime. So when I do, when I am at the point where I'm ready to go bare knuckle, I can at least get some value out of it and, have some experience under my belt.
And with McGregor being an owner now too, that'd be huge if you got a BK fight.
Yeah, well, I actually went to a BKFC tryout in Miami like last year at some time. I can't remember exactly when it was. It must have been the summer of last year, but I flew down to Miami and tried out and met a bunch of guys down there. They interviewed me and stuff. and they did like me, and like there is opportunity available with them. They want me to fight on their amateur series. I don't know if you've seen it, but
I haven't.
They're all over the place, and they have fights like all over the place. It's like a pretty big deal, but I think like the sanctioning nowadays is getting a little tighter for them. Like they want guys with a little bit more experience under the pro cards and stuff like that. So they want me to fight on the amateur series, but as of right now, I'm kind of just, you know, like I said, I'll get my experience through boxing at the time being, and then, you know, maybe something changes, or I'll go fight amateur series or something like that. So
Canada's doing more bare knuckle stuff now too. Like Lee Meehan, who owned Rumble in the Cage, he just, I think, he did bare knuckle box. He did the first ever Canadian bare knuckle boxing fight, and then he did, I think it was the first bare knuckle MMA on his card too. So it's growing everywhere.
Yeah, I think they did the first BKFC event at that Enoch at the River Cree there in Edmonton. Which is a great venue. That's where we did the original like King of the Rink tournament and stuff. But I love it over there. But yeah, so they just had a BKFC event up there, and they actually asked me, like one of the guys actually asked me about that fighting there too. But I don't know if it was like an amateur or pro at that point. But yeah, I mean it's growing. Like they're getting sanctioned everywhere, and I think one of the things too is I think the reason they're sanctioning them, they're saying it's actually like safer for like the like concussion side of things and like the head injury side of things. Obviously it's a little more ruthless and a little more like lacerations, but like you don't have like a glove. Like when you're wearing a glove, you can throw a way bigger, heavier punch, not worry about breaking your hand. And then not to mention like with the boxing glove, you have an extra like 8 ounces on your hand. So you're kind of just clubbing the guy with an extra 8 ounces, you know, so it really rocks you. And so apparently it's safer as far as on the head injury side of things. But obviously, you know, fights don't last as long due to like lacerations and just it takes your heart when you get hit with a bare knuckle like that. So
yeah, Rogan's been talking about it for a while, saying that he thinks that bare knuckle is safer as well. For the exact same reasons, like guys have to really think about the punches that they're throwing, not just throw a hammer and try to catch a guy. Luckily, you have to really like pick your shots, or else you can risk breaking your hand, and then you knock him out with that blow, but then you could be out for, you know, a couple months at least, depending on how bad the break is. So I could definitely see overall from like the CTE side, it could be safer, but definitely cuts up the face more for sure.
Yeah, and you just can't like repetitively blow a guy in the head. Like you got to just pick your spots more. And like honestly, if you're thinking like MMA side of things, it's like why would they even have gloves? Like you're allowed to throw an elbow, you know? Like I'd rather get punched with a bare hand than an elbow 10 times out of 10, you know?
Dude.
Or a knee. You know, like if you're allowed to throw a bare elbow or a bare knee, then forget the gloves. What do you even need them for?
Man, I had the pro fight back in October, and it was the first time we were allowed to use elbows. And I remember he had me in like a triangle, and all I feel is just like guy just smashing my face with an elbow. I was like, fuck, I forgot. So I like maneuvered, and I started raining some elbows down on him.
Nice.
And I was like, fuck, that was such a good feeling.
It's probably pretty fun. Yeah, I bet. Man. How did that go? I forgot about that.
It didn't go well, man. From the training side of things, I felt really good. Like I was in the best shape of my life. And then I kind of like, from not fighting for 11 years or whatever, I kind of had that anxiety attack. Like I panicked for sure. Like I went in there, and when I watched the tape after, like I held my chin straight up in the air. Like I wasn't moving how I was moving in training, how I know I can move. And I just looked awkward, especially on my feet, and I felt super awkward. I remember I went to go throw a kick, and I kind of like, I felt my left foot slip a little bit, and that just drained all my confidence in trying to throw kicks. And kicks are like the biggest part of my game. So I was like, okay, well, fuck, what am I going to do now? And then all of a sudden I just get rocked. I was like, oh shit. And I did exactly what you're not supposed to do. And I just tried to like duck and push out. I got so lucky that he didn't just knee me in the face right there. And I talked to him after. I'm like, man, you could have put my lights out. Like, he's like, yeah, man, I don't know why I pulled guillotine right there, but he had me in a guillotine, and I was like, I'm not tapping. Like, I'm just gonna go to sleep. Like, I remember thinking I was unconscious. I was like, the ref's gonna stop this at any point. Like, night, and then all of a sudden he like lets go, and then I'm in a triangle, and then I'm in an arm bar. And I get out of that,
No way.
and then we're elbowing each other in the face, and then he like caught me in another armbar, and I heard like pop, 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 and I was like, fuck.
Yeah, I'll tap quicker in an armbar than a freaking.
Oh, 100%. Sure. I'll go unconscious, but I'm not like letting you break my arm.
Oh, that's crazy, man. Kudos to you, man. That's pretty badass to get in a ring. That's a real fight, you know. That's as real as it gets.
It was disappointing though, because I really did prepare, and I really thought that like I knew Mitch deserved better from me, and I knew like who gave me the opportunity deserved better from me, and like my coaches and my team. But I really wish that I just enjoyed the experience, enjoyed the moment more. I think that would have just helped me settle in and really like just help me compete at my
relax
best.
a bit.
Exactly. And I'm sure like you've been in the ring too, like you know like that the jitters and just how it can feel.
I mean, I get that more playing a hockey game than I do in the ring.
Oh, really?
I'm sure Chucky probably doesn't, because he's probably stone cold killer out there. Relax, chilling out. You know,
during the regular season, it's chill mode. You know, going to the warm ups, it's just hang out. But then playoffs, it's like you're in the finals, you're in overtime, triple overtime. It's like, okay. Gets so nervous, but
you need to do something. You got all the weight on your shoulders. Like, don't make a mistake.
Chucky, have you scrapped?
Not in Europe. No, I had a couple small ones in junior and in the American League, but nothing lately. Like in some of the leagues in Europe, you can't even take your gloves off. Like guys are literally punching each other with their gloves on, and everybody's wearing visors. So it's a joke over there.
So, do they kick you out then if you drop your gloves?
In the Swiss league, you get kicked out immediately and then suspended. But in Germany, you can have 2 fights, and then the third one you get suspended. So you can take your gloves off in Germany. There's still a few
you only
tough
get
guys.
Like one or two a year kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's kind of like junior too, isn't it?
I think junior's like
junior's getting soft.
Yeah, they're not. That's the thing. It's like I think junior is like, I think it's the same with the coast. You only have 10 fights or something. It's like 10 fights, and then you start getting suspended after that. I think that I'm pretty sure the A too, honestly. I'm pretty sure the A has that same rule.
That's brutal.
Which is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, speaking of the coast, Amesbury signed in the coast deal this year and Fort Wayne, right?
Yeah, Fort Wayne Komets. Yeah, it was I mean everything that happened, like getting me there, it was kind of like a blessing in some ways. It was a nightmare in others, kind of how I just sat around for 2 months and thinking I'm going to come back to play, and then the league decides I can't play. But it was great getting there. I wish I would have got there in November when I first got suspended. But it was a really good experience. I mean, Fort Wayne's first class place to play. Like, we were getting 10,000 people a game. You know, sell out in Fort Wayne's like 12-5. Like, it was and it was crazy because like we'd play a weekday game, and there'd be 9,000 or 10,000 people there. You know, so they've been around. So Fort Wayne Komets, it goes for the oldest teams in North America, and I'm pretty sure, unless I'm getting this wrong, so it goes Original 6, Hershey Bears, and then Fort Wayne Komets. So like they've been around since like the 50s or like the late 40s or whatever it was. I think it's the 50s or something like that. So they got tons of support, and you know, the ladies that work in the office and like help run the team, they've been working there as long as I've been alive. So like, you know, it's a finely lube greased machine. You know, they got everything dialed. They take care of the players like no one else, and it was an amazing experience to play there. And you know, especially after, like, I've seen, you know, both sides of pro hockey. I've been on the best teams to play on, and then I've been on the worst teams to play on. So it was really refreshing to get to Fort Wayne and just get really taken care of. So.
Yeah, and that was really sad what happened with you in the Federal League, man. Like how that whole situation kind of happened. Like I know you've talked about it on your podcast with AJ a bit. Like I just feel like they treated you so unfairly, and like that league in general. Because my buddy Matt Brown, who I think I chatted with you, I think it was last year when he was out there a little bit. But because we were talking about you, he's like, yeah, like I think I almost had to fight him once, and I was like, there's no chance. But even he was like, man, like just how things were ran for him. Like he had agreed to I think a certain bonus or a contract with his team, and then he got there and they're like, yeah, they tried to like renege it, and it was like just a mess. So
They
he
just
ended up
change
leaving.
it. They can pretty much do whatever they want in that league. Like,
Yeah.
there's guys that'll get hurt and then they'll just get released.
That
Sounds like Russia.
Like, yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah. So they just kind of do whatever they want. Like the big thing for me that like really stung, like I got family, I got kids and a wife.
Yeah.
Like, this is it's my income, like one of my main sources of income, like I was getting paid pretty well. And like, I had probably 4 coast call-ups before I went to Fort Wayne. That like between the 2 seasons, I was supposed to start the year in Orlando that year, and I was just comfortable in Danbury. I was getting paid well, and I was like, I want one more year before, of playing. I'm going to play lots this year. I want one more season before I move up, and then I get suspended, and then I decided I was like, you know what, I'm just going to hang tough and do the rocket through the suspension. And I think I served 12 games or something like that. And then they decided, actually, we're not going to let you come back. And I'm like, dude, well, I just sat around for a month and a half when I could have been in Fort Wayne, end of November, or beginning of December. Wow. I could have been in Fort Wayne, and that would have been a big difference, would have helped me a lot. Just number one, not sitting around for 2 months. Like I didn't play a game for 2 months by the time I got to the coast. And then, also too, like when I got there, the situation was so tight on like, we were in a playoff race because it was like, I started playing in February or end of January. So it was, it was pretty annoying the way it went down. But, I know that everything happens for a reason. And honestly, I'm grateful that it did happen because it kind of forced me to get a little uncomfortable and make the move and whatnot.
So how's like the living situation out there? Did you have a place out there for just the season, or are you planning on setting up shop permanently out there? Or?
Yeah, so I mean they were great. Like I said, they took care of me. I had a house for my family with a big backyard, fire pit. Like
that's awesome.
Super awesome living situation. Like I said, they take care of the boys there. I'd love to go back. Like my goals right now, hockey wise, is just like I want to move up. Like I want to play in the A this year at some point. So I don't know what the plan is. I have to kind of wait. Just because of the affiliation, I don't think like my coach can't really tell me like he wants me back, but yeah, like they gotta wait until Edmonton's done before they have all their meetings. They know exactly what's going on. Because who knows, they could have some tough kid coming out of junior that Edmonton's putting on a deal or whatever, right? You know how it is. So I don't really know for sure what's going on. I know that they said they're happy with me and they wanted me to come back, which I'd love to be there. At the same time, I definitely want to try and start in an A camp if I can. So we'll see kind of what happens. But, I decided to come here for the summer just based on I want to, improve my game as much as I can. All aspects of it, obviously like on ice stuff is my priority and trying to like really work on myself as a hockey player. It's still been, like I've had 2 seasons back now, but I've only played like 40 friggin' games in the last 2 seasons. It's been all the suspensions I dealt with in that stupid league I was in. So, or I think it's 50 now, but so kind of just going to train all summer here and hopefully sharpen my game up enough to try and make it to the next level or at least get some games in the A.
Yeah, we got to get you all the way up to the NHL so you can fight Matt Rempe. What do you think of him coming into the league, taking the league by storm?
I love it. I'm the biggest Rangers fan there is right now. Like I've actually talked to Rempe. Like I've been messaging him. Basically, as soon as the buzz happened and he was as soon as he was going through the gauntlet, I started, hitting him up. I'm like, hey, dude, anything you need, like, let me know. Like, I'd love, I was breaking guys down. I was like, hey, this guy's going to do this. This guy's going to do this. He was only living 40 minutes from Danbury, right? Like, he was like, oh, like I'd get on the ice with you, but I wasn't in Danbury anymore, but I wanted to help him out. Cause I'm like, this is the greatest thing. Number one, it's good for me, but it's good for the game. Like, it's kind of like, I feel like I've been saying it for years that the pendulum is going to swing back that way because everybody went so far against it. I was like, as soon as somebody gets a guy that's going to start running around a bit and kind of shaking things up, everybody's going to panic and it's just going to swing back that way, and everybody's going to remember why it was a thing. It is kind of like a cheat code. It makes everybody feel more loose, and and on the other end of it, when you're on the other team, it kind of makes everyone a bit more tight. You're like, oh my god, is this guy going to take my head off, or what's next? It's like kind of annoying when you're on the other end of it. I'm sure you've been there. I know I've been there, especially in junior. You're going into another team's barn and they got a guy or a couple guys that it's just going to be a headache. You're like, I just want to get this game over with. Like, this is annoying. What's this guy going to do tonight? And it's just like a bug, right? So I'm happy with what he's doing. I think he's doing great. And I think he's proved he's an NHL player. I don't think he's going anywhere. He skates well. He lays the body. He'll fight anybody. I love to see it. Love to see it.
Chucky, what are your thoughts on that from like a guy who is more out there as a skill guy rather than a guy who's fighting and like as an enforcer? Like, do you feel more loose out there when you have a guy like Ames or Rempe on your team? And what are your thoughts playing against those type of guys?
Yeah, I think every team definitely needs at least one of those guys. I mean, he's probably not going to be your center or, moving up in the lines, but if he's a winger or a fifth, sixth defenseman, have him on your lineup. Like you look at tonight, you got Florida playing the Rangers. You think Tkachuk and all these guys are going to be running around if you got, Rempe coming on the ice the next shift? Like I think it definitely makes them second guess it. So I'd like to see him in the lineup and see more teams signing at least one of these guys on each team.
Yeah, fuck Rempe and Kachuk. That's going to be interesting to see. Those two guys.
I think he's going to change Florida's game a little bit, right? Everybody, like, Florida's a wagon. Like, I love their game. I love their team. But they haven't really ran into anybody that, might change their game a little bit or might shut them up a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know if it will or not, but I'm excited to watch. That's for sure.
It meant, like, Ames, you made an immediate impact too when you had your first game in Fort Wayne. Like, your first shift, you basically killed a guy.
yeah, that would have been life in the Fed for sure.
100%.
Yeah, and it was, you know what? That was the refreshing thing, is because I think that was my first game. So so what happened was when I got to the coast, I had 6 games left in my suspension in the Fed, and like, never in a million years would the coast normally like respect the federal league's decision to suspend me and like make me serve the extra 6 games. But like, I had a meeting with the league and they were actually like kind of like worried. They're like, okay, like if we let you play now and you like whack some guy with a hit that's on an NHL deal, like it could be a bad look. Like, I think we should just, have you serve the rest. And I'm honestly just having a league that was willing to talk to me and be transparent with me and want to hear who I am and talk to me. I was stoked on it. So I was like, yeah, like that. I'm like, I think that's fair. Like, I'm cool with that. So I served 6 games before I ever played a game on the coast. Had to be the only guy that's ever done that. And then, I was eligible to play the game before in Cincinnati, and they scratched me, which I was kind of glad they did, because it was my home. My first game was at home in Fort Wayne, and they put me in the starting lineup, and I knew like I'm gonna lay someone out this shift. I didn't know it was gonna be that good and it was gonna be that quick, but I was going out there full of jam, full of piss and vinegar, and basically opening draw, we win the draw right off the hop. Puck goes deep. I told the boys, I'm like, if you get that friggin' thing, dump it, like get it deep. I don't care if it's 2-on-1, put it in the corner. Let me fucking get the boys going. And that's what happened. The puck goes deep. Bergie kind of flushed him around the net, and he did like a fake punch turn as I was coming in. And as soon as he did that, I was like, oh man, like I knew it was so much worse, because he just like was kind of opened up to me. And then, yeah, it was a massive hit. And then next shift, their captain came out to fight me, and he's a big boy too, and kind of laid it to him and cut him open pretty bad. And that was kind of my start in Fort Wayne. The place was going nuts.
Man, I remember watching the hit. I was like, holy shit. He's been out there for a shift. He's already suspended again.
Yeah, it was quite the experience for sure. Yeah, I think like, I don't know, like we and AJ were talking about it. We're like, I don't even know if you could have drawn up that first shift any better.
No. No, that's got to be the best, or at least one of the best, like welcome to the league you could
Yeah.
ask for sure.
It's just like one of those moments you'll remember for the rest of your life, you know? Like I'll remember like I was just skating around after the guy's still on the ice. He was okay. He's actually a tough guy. But I was skating around the ice and the plates was just going nuts, like just screaming. And I'm like, I was like, I didn't even know what to think. I don't like, it was a weird feeling when I think back of it now. Cause I was just like, I think I just surprised myself. I was like, holy crap. And there was no penalty, which was so refreshing. Cause it was a clean check. It was 100% a clean hit. Puck was still on his stick too. Like it was as clean as they get. But like the league I came from, it doesn't matter if it's clean. It's like they're so worried about getting sued because they don't have insurance and this and that, so they freaking suspend everybody. So it was really
Okay.
refreshing to be in a professional league where they're actually letting guys play hockey like men. So
Yeah, like a real pro league.
yeah, exactly.
And
So
that's interesting too. Like how do you think the A, and I'll ask this like to you too, Chucky, but like how do you think the A and the coast have changed over the years? Because I have another buddy that's playing in the coast, and he's saying that the A and the coast are progressively getting way better. And like the leagues are getting younger too, and they're getting more skilled. Like obviously there's still the physical aspect that you get in the jungle and in the minors, but the skill in general is increasing as well.
I think it's crazy. Like, I mean, I played in the Central League, which was pretty well the same level as the Coast. It was maybe a little more gritty version. And that was 2014 was when I was playing in that league. So coming back this past season, it was like 10 years later. And I'm like, holy, the game is so much faster. There's so many skilled guys. And I feel like I haven't watched a ton of A games. I've watched some, but like, I feel like just like, it's almost like the skill gap is getting closer and closer. You know what I mean? Like it's like there was such a spread out. I wouldn't necessarily say from the bottom guy, but I would say like you see guys in the coast, they're top guys and they're like so skilled. They I don't know, they might be missing one aspect of their game or maybe they're just not willing to play a bottom six role. So they kind of just, they don't adjust their games. So that's why they're not moving up. But you see
Okay.
guys where you're like, man, what is this guy doing here? This is crazy, and the speed of the game has increased. Like I don't even know, a lot for sure since when I was playing in the Central.
Yeah,
What
we're seeing a ton of East Coast League guys come over to Europe and do really well, light it up. And it's just because they don't get a chance in the American League. And it's usually because it's guys on NHL deals, young guys that just, are taking spots away from these good coast players. And I think in the coast can you have a few more veterans in the coast? Like in the American League, you can only have five, right?
Yeah, I think there's a rule like that. Yeah, it's 5 guys or something, but I
And
don't know
in the
if it's like that.
coast, like you can have fucking at least 10 or more
Yeah.
kind of thing. So it's probably the teams are a little bit older in the coast. You have a few young guys and whatever. So it's pretty good competition down there. I'm sure there's some coast teams that can beat some AHL teams.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think like from seeing what I've seen this past season, like some of the players and like, and that you're right too. Like you see so many guys where they're like, they knock at their shot. They're like, yeah, I'm probably going to Europe next season, like I feel like that's what it is, and you see these guys that are contracted and they just take up, your coach has to play them. Like you can't put another guy
Yeah.
in, like he's in the lineup. So kind of puts the other guys in a tough spot. And yeah, a lot of guys get overlooked, I feel like.
They take a lot of guys from like CIS or U Sport now, like Canadian University Hockey too, like MRU, UFC. Those guys are always going out there at the end of the season for at least to end the year off, and then maybe if they don't get an A deal, they'll go to Europe or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it gives, and those guys I guess are older, you could say, to be starting their pro careers because they're coming out of school. They're like what 25, 26 sometimes, maybe 24, so somewhere in that range. So like they're still young guys, but when you're looking at like comparative to other young guys that might be playing, in the show or in the A, like they're older to be starting their careers. So it's cool that they get at least get an opportunity to show what they're made of coming out of college and get opportunities. That's the thing about hockey too that I really like is there's so much opportunity for guys, whether it's if they don't make the NHL, there's the American League, the coast, or overseas. You can still play hockey and make a good living too.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
we had a
tons
guy
of
in Germany this year. He played 4 or 5 years in the U Sports, went to Austria for 1 year, lit it up in Austria, came to Germany. He was player of the year in Germany, and now he just signed with the Leafs. So like
Holy
that's
shit.
honestly a crazy, crazy way to go. But it just goes to see how there's different routes to make it. And he is a 6'4", 6'5" D man that can skate and put up a lot of points, but it's just crazy the different ways you can go to get to the next level.
What was his name?
Oh, I'm drawing a blank here.
We can find it edited in.
Yeah, I'd
Flip
literally
it
never
in.
heard of the guy before he got to our league, and then he plays for the Straubing Tigers. He was literally player of the year. Insane, just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, what a crazy route that is. And I feel like nowadays it's such a worldwide game. Like there's scouts everywhere now, and like, it's not like obviously there were scouts everywhere before, but I feel like now it's like there's Americans and Canadians that are going right over to Europe,
Yeah.
like they're like, oh, I don't have an NHL deal, or I don't have an A deal, I'm out of here.
And like a lot of guys too I've seen will rather go to Europe than play in the A if they know like it's a long shot for them to, maybe get called up in the next couple of years, because they can go over to Europe and make six figures when they could be making like 70K, 60K or whatever in the A. And it's like tax free down there too, depending where you go.
Yeah, all your taxes are paid
Everything.
and stuff out there too, right?
Our sponsor for this episode is Overtime Markets, the top Web3 sportsbook. Overtime is an industry-leading sports betting platform where users can immerse themselves in the thrilling world of sports. Leveraging the benefits of decentralization and blockchain technology, Overtime leads the charge in sports innovation, all while offering fans juicy money rewards on major sporting events. Overtime supports all the major leagues and utilizes advanced smart contracts to ensure an elevated user experience. Discover the future of sports betting at overtimemarkets.xyz, where sports and blockchain converge. Got a fight coming up, Ames.
Yeah.
New league, no longer fighting with Barstool.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Barstool in their last event had all new guys. Like literally everybody on the thing was new. So I think I don't know. I'd be happy to still fight with Barstool, but yeah, this is just an opportunity that came up. Yeah. So I'm going to Nashville for my first time.
That's unreal. When? What's the date?
July 12th.
Chucky, we might have to make a trip.
Not
let's
a
go.
bad idea.
Just end of Stampede, skip the rest of Stampede, go to Nashville. Fuck, I'd be down for sure.
Yeah, it should be fun. Like I got tons of people that are already booking flights and coming out, like buddies from back home, and then I got like I don't know 100%, but Parker, and you're thinking about like bringing a crew out from Parker's platoon and stuff, and it'd be probably a pretty good group out there. It'd be pretty fun. So I'm looking forward to it.
What's the promotion?
It's called Creator Fight League. Anthony Pretty Boy. What's his last name?
Oh, Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor. Is that who owns that?
Taylor. That's who put it on. Yeah.
Oh,
he put it on.
me and him.
Didn't you fight him or something?
I was trying to. He's been ducking me for fucking 2 years. I mean,
you should come down and start a beef with them. Get up on the.
Bro, he's blocked me on everything. Little bitch ass.
He's putting it on, and it's kind of like essentially like a minor system for
misfits.
Like
okay.
So they wanted me to fight on the last card, and I was kind of like, nah, like if the money wasn't there, and I was kind of like, I just wasn't. It was also like I didn't know if we were gonna make playoffs or not, and the timing of it wouldn't have worked, and so I didn't do it. And then my buddy ended up fighting on it, and he ended up winning, and now he's got a contract. He's fighting on the next Misfits cards in Texas.
Damn.
So, and then he called me again, like after all that, the event went well and stuff, and he hit me up again. He's like, "Hey, I got someone for you, blah, blah, if you're interested." He's telling me all the ins and outs. Like, hey, we're basically trying to fill the Misfits cards. Like, we're trying to find, guys in North America side, this and that. So I was like, at that point, it's kind of like, it's one of those things where, okay, like forget the purse. Let's like think about the potential opportunity here and who's going to see it and stuff like that. So I took the fight, leaning on sponsors a little bit more to, help pay for my camp, obviously, with the purse not really being there, but it's an opportunity. And, yeah, man, I'm pretty excited. Actually, my first opponent already backed out. So I'm on to my second opponent now. It's funny. It's like the day after I posted like a day in the life video of me training.
Yeah.
I get a call. He calls me. Taylor calls me. He's like, yeah, opponent can't make it. Something about his flights or something like that. I'm like,
yeah,
good
right.
timing. Like right after I post my video of me hitting pads.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So now he's got another opponent lined up for me, and he's got one in his back pocket in case. But I mean, that's that's the fight game, man. So.
For sure. What weight classes are you fighting? Heavyweight?
Heavy. Yeah. It's gonna be my first like actual heavyweight. So I don't even know how big the guy is that I'm fighting, but I'm pretty big right now. Like I'm like 227 or something right now. So I'm like big for me. I'll probably show up at like 220, 222, possibly something like that. I would say by the time we get to like fight day. So I mean that's like it'll be probably around the same size as I was for like the Ice Wars and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, but it's it's nice in the off season you can actually put on a little bit of weight.
What's the rule set? Is it pro boxing? Is there exhibition with like some
so it's exhibition 3-minute rounds.
Okay.
So it'll be good. 16-ounce gloves, no headgear.
Okay.
So heavy gloves, but no headgear. I don't know. I feel like the heavy gloves just help you knock people out anyways.
Yeah, they can for sure.
Yeah, but so it should be fun. I'm excited. It's in Nashville, so it'll be my first time in Nashville.
Oh man, let me know. Let me know whatever you need. I'll get you taken care of for sure.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we'll probably, like I said, I got buddies that are coming, and we're planning on bringing a crew from out here too. So we'll probably definitely be celebrating the win somewhere.
That's unreal.
Will people be able to stream that anywhere? Do you know what the setup is for that?
There's a link. Yeah, there's a link. I posted it the other day. I can send you guys the link too, and they can either buy tickets for the live event or for the pay-per-view through the link. So yeah, and they're all like directed, so they'll know that it was like somebody through me that bought the tickets and stuff. So
sweet.
Yeah, it should be fun. It'll be like a pay-per-view event or whatever, and I'm looking forward to it. I feel like it's been a while, and it's actually going to be like my first real boxing match, like with 3-minute rounds where I can actually kind of like set guys up and not just have like a 1-minute banger. So I'm kind of excited about that.
You can actually strategize and treat it like a real fight.
Yeah, like like when you're boxing, you can kind of like set them up and stuff rather than just like 1 minute. It's like, all right.
Yeah, there's none of that in Barstool.
Put your chin down and get after it.
Where's the event? Is it at Municipal?
I can't remember, honestly. I was just trying to think of that. I can't remember what it's called.
The same place as Misfits has been?
I don't know. Possibly. I don't know.
Could be Municipal Auditorium. That was like the Bridgestone before the Preds came to town, and they built that. But it's an iconic arena if that's the place. Cool. That's where we shot the TV show that I did. And then like everyone has performed there, like the Jackson 5.
Super cool.
Like, yeah, it's sick. That's where Ric Flair had his last match too. So like,
no way. Yeah, well, I hope it's there. That'd be super
dope,
cool,
man. Good arena too.
Yeah. So, but we'll see, man. Like the goal for me at this point is try and get on the Misfits fight.
Yeah.
That'd obviously be like the greatest thing for me, and kind of building my platform and opportunity wise and stuff like that. So.
Are you gonna end up fighting one of the TikTokers like Taylor Holder or Bryce Hall? I know those guys.
Dude, I would love to. I actually kind of respect Bryce Hall after his bare knuckle. I feel like he did pretty well, better than I thought. And like, granted, he didn't like really like the guy got hurt or whatever, but like he looked good. Like his training looked good and his fight looked good. Like, dude, if I could fight Bryce Hall, I'd sign right now. I'd fight him for free.
He looked a lot better in his BKFC fight than he did his original boxing fight for sure. So he's definitely been putting the work in. Apparently,
I feel like everybody online now is at a boxing gym. It's like
right. I know every influencer is like.
Following.
I'm like, and I always see him like I see like influencer boxing gyms popping up. I'm like, man, like all these guys are just, like it seems like you look at like Dog Pound in fucking LA or whatever. That's like all the influencers go there and train.
TikTokers.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, like if you're training, like train at a fucking real gym. Like,
Everybody there's just got like a camera crew with them.
legit, it's like
There's
holy
got to be
shit,
cameras all over that place, hey? Like just
everywhere.
tripods. You're tripping over tripods and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, it's nuts, man. Everybody's getting into boxing now. I mean, it's good for the sport. Like I know traditional fans say like, well, there is a line, and I respect the line, but like if you're ballsy enough to get in there and actually like fight, like fuck, I have respect for you for sure.
Yeah. Well, like my thing, like right now is like I was saying, like I want to build my platform bigger so I have
Yeah,
more value. But I do also like I want to prove myself as a real fighter. Like I want to
yeah,
not that those guys aren't real fighters. There's a lot of good influencer boxers. That's not what I mean by any means.
for
I
sure.
just mean like, you know, I want to do this, get some experience and like be able to climb a ladder in that sense. And then possibly maybe at some point fight in like BK or something where it's like, you know, even Bryce Hall, when he fought in BK, it was like, okay, you can't say shit now. Like
Yeah,
can't even call Bryce Hall really like an influencer boxer at this point because he just went and fought like a fighter in a bare knuckle fist fight.
yeah.
What does he weigh though? Like he looks like skinny as he wouldn't even be close to your weight class, would he?
No, no.
No,
Well, he actually was like I think he was like 185 or
yeah,
180 or something in that fight. Like he was pretty decently sized compared to the guy that he fought normally fights at like 150. So like he
Jeez.
was like
oh.
had a pretty big advantage on that end. But yeah, I don't think I could ever. I could get down to like I could maybe get down to 195.
What do you think of the Tyson and Jake Paul fight? How do you think that one's gonna go? That'd be more
Well,
your
I
weight
mean,
class, I think.
Tyson should for sure knock him out, like no questions. Like, you know, so we'll
Yeah.
see how it goes. Everybody's tuning in. I guarantee that. Regardless of how it goes, everybody's tuning in to watch that. Everybody's tuning in to watch Jake Paul get knocked out. That guy, Jake Paul, I gotta give my hat. Like, he's a marketing genius. You know, like
Yeah.
he's the guy. Like, if you're getting booed like that, it's like Mayweather. You know, everybody tunes in. They want to watch him get knocked out, but he never does. And, you know, look at the bag that guy's got now, you know? So, gotta respect the hustle. But, I pray to God that Tyson knocks him out. I'd love to see it.
And like that's the thing too. It's for like he's a master marketer, and that was one thing I liked about my fight. Not to compare it, because obviously he's on Netflix. I was on fucking whatever. But like everybody hated me. The commentators hated me. The fucking fans hated me. Everyone besides the promoter and like the guy that I fought that I'm actually like buddies with behind the scenes. The plan, like the marketing plan, worked.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Be like the TikToker everybody wants to get. Yeah.
Dude, I came out in a dark here, I'll show you the fucking thing I came out in.
It seems like everybody loves Ames though, and they still watch his fights. So
I don't know, man. It goes both ways. It goes both ways, man. The internet's crazy. The haters just come out of the weeds all the time. It's crazy.
I came out
for
in this
sure.
fucking,
And you probably
like
hear the haters
70-year-old
more.
this
Yeah, I have like
golden
70-year-old men commenting on my shit. Freaking.
What is that you got there,
dude,
Kyle?
this was my walkout vest for the fight. I had like
That's who you were?
Yeah,
That's
like,
hilarious. That looks pretty sick though.
It was nasty.
Nice.
But like
Dreamboat.
the pink fur, yeah. The commentators, as soon as I got on camera, they're like, "Huh, Kyle Forch, here he comes wearing a questionable attire to the ring." I was like, "What the
Nice.
fuck, boys?" But no, like in regards to the Tyson and Paul, it's like now that it's gonna be a pro fight, an officially sanctioned pro fight, I think people started looking at it differently. Because like if it was an exhibition, then it's like, okay, well, no one's getting knocked out. They're just going out there to make a bag and leave, like when Tyson fought Roy Jones. But now that it's like a professionally sanctioned fight, I can't see Tyson not wanting to fuck him up.
It's on his record now.
Yeah.
You know? It's gonna come up on his record. So yeah, honestly, like Tyson's a killer. Like I'm sure you guys have seen the videos of him training. Like, yeah, granted, he's probably a little bit slower. He's pushing. How old is he? Like 57.
57. He'll be 58 when they fight.
So like, you know, he's probably gonna get tired pretty quick. Like, there's no way he's gonna be feeling very good in the 7th round.
Yeah.
you know, so but you know, who know, I'm excited. I'll be watching, I guarantee
Oh,
that.
100%. And it's on Netflix too, like massive for sports.
Yeah,
Massive, like
that's huge.
massive for boxing in general, massive for sports in general too, because this is like this it's gonna change the game.
Everyone has Netflix too, like, you know, it's not like you got
Exactly.
to buy this pay-per-view or do this. It's like everybody's already on there. Like
Yeah,
it's easy to just flip it on and turn it on. So
for sure.
I'm excited for it.
Man, I could see you eventually going to like one championship too. If I because I think I don't know if they're still doing boxing, but like they've got all different martial arts in one, and they've
Cool.
got some of the most talented people like on earth, especially their Muay Thai guys. Like some of their Muay Thai
Really,
guys are way better strikers than anybody in the UFC.
really.
Yeah,
I feel
it's
like Muay Thai has got to be one of the craziest, like,
dude.
you know, that's got to be the craziest combat. Like these guys, you
Oh, they're
might as well just
killers,
give them a baseball bat.
killers, man. Their Muay Thai guys are scary. My gym
Yeah.
is a traditional Muay Thai gym, and I'm like, man, some of these guys are just scary.
Well, and also too, like I was talking to one of the guys at my gym, and he's a Muay Thai, he's a kickboxer, and he was kind of saying, he's like, yeah, the cool part about Muay Thai is like nobody's in it for the money. Like these guys
Yeah,
are just in it because they just want to bang it out.
yeah,
And
and
he's
they'll
like
have
telling me he's got like a ton of pro fights, and he's just like he just loves going toe to toe with guys. He's like, there's
yeah.
no running in Muay Thai. It's just put your head down and freaking kick a guy, kick each other in the head.
Yeah, man. If you don't like throw something for like 2 seconds, the ref is like in there getting you to go. So like
Yeah,
your cardio, there's no saving your cardio. You have to be
yeah.
in shape. And it's like, man, like these guys are absolute killers.
Yeah, it's a pretty
And,
crazy sport in
and
itself. You see those like 6-year-old kids doing Muay Thai in Thailand?
yeah,
They're
man,
like
it's
legit fighters, no headgear.
yeah, like it's nuts.
That's
That's what I'm
wild.
saying. Like some of these guys, you look like they have 200 pro fights, and they've lost 10 of them. It's
Yeah,
like
that's
holy
freaking
shit,
insane, dude.
it's
That's
nuts.
so insane.
Chucky, what about you? Who do you got, Tyson or Paul?
Oh, I hope the ref just lets Tyson just go off on him and it's just a full on knockout and that's just how Jake Paul gets to live down his legacy. But that's
Damn,
me.
what did Jake do to you?
Well,
He's such an easy guy to hate.
yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a part of his mark. Like he's just, yeah, he makes it. He makes it even like his promotion when you watch him when he's sitting there and talking beside Tyson, like just the way he acts and the looks on his face. I'm like, I want to smack this guy myself. You know, I'm sure everyone else is feeling the same way, but I guarantee that's why I say he's a marketing wizard. Like, and at the end of the day, he gets knocked out by Mike Tyson. That's still good in his career? You know,
It
that's
makes
like, you know, it'd be like me getting knocked out by Bob Probert. It'd be like, hey, well, I fought Bob Probert. You know, it is
and
what
I
it
made
like. It's on my record. I've got this guy on my record. So I think it's a win-win for Paul regardless.
oh yeah, he's gonna make like $20 million too. So
Oh yeah.
probably at least.
Oh
I
yeah.
wonder how
Only-
Tyson's got to be making at least 25.
Yeah, I don't know. Who do you think? You think Tyson's making more than Paul? I bet you Paul's making
Man,
more.
I bet you Paul's making more too. But I
Yeah.
mean, it had to be worth it for Tyson too, because there's no
Oh
way.
yeah.
Tyson's been saying for years, he's like, yeah, I'd fight if the money's right, and it's like,
Yeah.
so he's got to be
Yeah.
making at least 25 for sure. But plus, like, it depends. I'm sure the pay-per-view points are maybe they're split. Maybe they split them 50-50,
Dude, I'm sure the
or not
kickback
paper.
on
They're
that
not pay-per-view.
pay-per-view
Sorry, the kickback.
for the Netflix is
Yeah,
probably breaking them off pretty good. There's endorsements. Like I could only imagine. I'd love to see like, you know, you always hear these numbers of what they made, and like, did it really like actually what they made? Like, I want to see like when all's said and done, like what you put in your pocket. Like, I'd love to actually know. You always hear these crazy numbers, like, oh, they made this or they made that. It's like, is it more or it's less? You never know. It's like when you look someone's net worth up on Google.
yeah,
They're like, oh, this guy's worth 50 million. The guy's like, no chance.
yeah. You never get exact amounts. Even like the UFC when they release purses, like Dana's giving guys like secret bonuses in the back, and there's other
Yeah.
sponsors and stuff like that. So it's
But
tough.
be-
It's tough to say.
that BKFC is pretty transparent. Like I found websites that'll tell you exactly what everybody's making, like on their fights and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean they were paying guys pretty good too. Like there's some guys making some good coin, as far as like, you know, for that fairly new promotion.
Yeah. And I mean, hey, they're probably going to start paying guys even more too and investing more in marketing now that McGregor's involved. Like,
Oh yeah,
and they have like his face on it too. So I mean, that's huge for that
dude.
organization.
I wonder. Imagine McGregor doing a bare knuckle. Imagine they brought him in for a fight like that. That would be insane.
Yeah, that'd be. I wonder how Dana feels about McGregor buying into BK.
Oh, he's probably so pissed. I guarantee it. Because like that's probably Dana's like main competitor, you would think.
Yeah, I mean,
as far as North America.
PFL Bellator, like he doesn't even see them as competitors.
No, but like BKFC is fairly new and they've popped out. Like they're making some headway like pretty quick. So I'm sure he sees them as a little bit like maybe he's not worried about them, but I'm sure he's like in the back of his mind, he's probably like, fuck. He sees that, he's probably not going to be happy. I mean, would he be happy if McGregor bought a portion of Bellator or some, any promotion?
Yeah. At least like BKFC's boxing, not MMA. So like there's that differentiation. But Dana's probably like, yo, you spent how much on BKFC? You didn't want to invest in Power Slap? Like what are you doing?
Yeah. I wonder what's the other one called? I can't remember. There's like a Game Bread.
Game Bread, yeah. Masvidal's,
and they're doing MMA bare knuckle, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it all bare knuckle?
I think so. From what I saw, yeah, it's fully bare knuckle MMA, and he's fighting Diaz too, boxing.
Is he?
Yeah, just like boxing.
Wow. Coming up. That's right. I did see that.
I think it's coming up in June.
Wow. Yeah, that'll be pretty big too.
Be huge.
Those Diaz brothers sell tickets, man.
Oh man, and like I see people in the comments like, well, like why are they still fighting? Why are they still fighting? Like, because they fucking love to fight. Like they're clearly not trying to win world championships anymore. He wants to make his money and still compete.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, they don't, especially the amount of money they're probably making on these boxing matches too. And they've been fighting MMA. He's like, what's boxing? To them, or big gloves.
Yeah, exactly. These boxers have no clue what MMA is like. At least most of them. Actually, like I found out recently that Caleb Plant was a kickboxer originally before he turned into a boxer, which is probably the best career decision he made because he made millions more than he would with kickboxing. But apparently he was like a world champion kickboxer, and then he's like, I found boxing and realized that's what I wanted to do.
That's crazy. Well, yeah, money's definitely in the boxing, especially nowadays. Like. Yeah. So many promotions. The sport's growing, and hate it or love it for the Jake Paul shit and all that stuff. But I feel like it's got a lot of young fans kind of recruited into watching boxing. I'm sure there's a lot of fans watching that Fury fight the other day that weren't, hadn't originally watched too many boxing matches. So.
Yeah, the king got dethroned. Hey,
dude, he's such a savage when he gets knocked out. Like he just survives. I don't know how that guy survives.
Same against like Ngannou. Like Ngannou 100% won that fight, I thought too.
Yeah, 100%.
And then Ngannou got just destroyed against Joshua, but
yeah. Well, Joshua's a beast, man.
He's massive.
That level of boxing is crazy. Those guys are dangerous, man.
100%.
For Ngannou to be able to go over like just from MMA to boxing and fight those top dogs like that and like do decent. Like obviously Joshua put him out, but like, I mean, he wasn't like it wasn't like completely lopsided when he fought Fury,
No, I thought he
did
won.
Well. Exactly. He did well. He probably won the fight. So,
and he knocked him down.
If he was Fury, he definitely either way he would have won
for sure. Chuck, you got anything else? I just realized
we've
been running.
We'd like your picks for tonight's game, Florida Rangers. We got our sponsor, Overtime Markets, so we're gonna be placing some bets tonight.
I gotta go Rangers. But I don't know. I'm interested to see how Florida plays. Florida's a wagon. I love their game. I love the way they built that team. But I don't know. I'm on the Rempe train. Rempe wins. It's good for me. It's good for the tough guy role. But I'm interested. I'm gonna go with the Rangers. I think he might throw their game off a little bit if he's in the lineup, which I would imagine he is. But we'll see.
And then what about Oilers Stars? Since you're now in the Oilers organization, I mean, I feel like you got to pick them.
Don't do this to me. Dallas is looking good. I think that's going to be an issue for for Edmonton.
There goes your contract.
Yeah. Where is it? Is it in Dallas or it's in Dallas, right? Yeah, Dallas is first place, right?
Yeah.
I gotta go Dallas game 1.
Ooh, they might be trading you.
Dude, honestly, like Dallas has just been looking good, dude. Even that first series with Dallas Las Vegas, I was kind of like, whoever comes out of this series is going to be an issue.
Yeah, they're such a deep team, man. They're so deep.
Yeah, I love Jamie Benn too. He's always been one of my favorite players. Like, I love his game.
Yeah, I feel like their goaltending is a little bit more consistent too. Obviously, the Oilers have been going back and forth, struggling. But,
yeah, like the Oilers need to put up some, like, put up some good points. The bottom six needs to produce a little bit. Like, they need to. I feel like, the Vancouver series was, obviously it went 7 games, but like, I feel like on the Edmonton side, they need to, coming into Dallas after playing Vancouver with their, third strength goalie essentially, although he did play amazing.
He kept him in it.
Yeah, that's crazy. What a great opportunity for him. And like, what do you think? You think he's got a career now in the show? Like,
I think so.
I think has to.
He's at least going to get the opportunity, I think, somewhere.
Yeah. Like, he did great. So.
And like, it's tough for Vancouver to win when you only have 14 shots on net.
That's what I mean. And the guy was still keeping him in the games, for the most part, and they still weren't putting up a lot of shots like the whole series. So.
They had what, four shots through 2 the other night?
That was brutal.
I texted Chucky. We were both like, "Uh-oh." Chucky texted me, "Uh-oh." I was like, "Man, we're not looking good right now."
It's crazy. Yeah, I know. Fuck, but I mean, Edmonton was buzzing too. Like, I mean, I'm excited to watch both of these games anyways. So
I'm excited. Holloway versus Stankoven, 2 young guys coming in the league. I mean, Holloway was an AJHL guy, went to NCAA, and then Stanko, obviously a dub guy. But they've both been. Holloway's been having a good few games, and Stanko made an immediate impact when he came in. So I love both those guys, and I'm excited to see them what they're gonna do with the rest of the playoffs. I think there'll be some great depth guys for both teams. Like, I think they could be subtle turning points if they play well. One of them plays well, one of them the others. It could help for sure.
Yeah, those guys are important. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, man. Ames, we appreciate you coming on again.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll have you on next season too. I'm sure you'll have at least 6 fights and some hockey stories, some more suspensions by then.
It under 10 fights next year. I don't know how. The only way I'm going to be able to do that is if I get to play in 2 leagues.
Yeah, and boxing. You got boxing now too. So between Misfits and Creator Fight League and the Coast, I think you'll get your fix.
Right on. All right. Well, I thank you guys for having me on. I always appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Oh, we just before we let you go, the podcast, Talking Trash podcast with AJ Galante.
Yes.
How has that been going, man? It looks like you're killing it.
Talking Trash podcast. It's been good. We're having lots of fun, and we've been having just trying to get some like guests and stuff like that on. So yeah, if you tune in, if you're here now, check into Talking Trash podcast.
Awesome, buddy. Thanks again for coming on. Hey, I love what you're doing. It's always fun watching what you're up to, and I have no doubt that you'll make it to Misfits and hopefully see you playing in the A as well, man. The things that you're doing are crazy. I think a lot of players and a lot of creators, athletes are going to look up to you and be inspired and just feel like that they can make a push and really make a career for themselves and a brand for themselves just from watching you, man. So thank you for that, for being an inspiration, and good luck moving forward, man.
Thank you, fellas. I appreciate it. Talk to you soon.